Hello TEDx, how are we all doing today? Are you good? On a scale from I'm ready to change my whole damn life to I'm just here because my friend dragged me, where are we at? Are we good? All right. Either way, I'm convinced you're exactly at the right place right now. Because maybe, just maybe, today's the day you're breaking the script. I'm Victoria Effert, a business creator, 27 years old, and for the past years I've lived in Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, Spain, and now Germany. And I've helped people get what they want in life. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is, during my journey, I've met hundreds, if not thousands, of people who did everything right. They checked all the boxes. They got the good grades, they got the degree, they got the promotion, they climbed the ladder, and still all of them, at some point, came to the point where they had a question, which was, so, this is it? So let me tell you an uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. 63% of Germans feel unchallenged at work every single day. 63%. That's millions and millions of people. And no, it's not because they're bored, it's because they're dissatisfied. And no, you're not just lazy, or you're not lazy at all, you just haven't found the right thing yet. And don't worry, this is not a pep talk. I've given plenty of these, mostly to myself in front of a mirror, but this is a talk about claiming your power back. So let me ask you right now, what do you truly want in life? What do you want? If there are no limitations, no restrictions, endless money, everything we want, what would you be doing? And please don't say, stay in your current job because you love your team so much. Yeah, you may love your favorite colleague and the old bar. That's not passion. That's Stockholm Syndrome with a snack privilege. What do you really want in life? For some reason, it's not always that easy to find an answer to that question, right? Why is that so? Well, maybe you just never got the chance to figure it out. Maybe you were handed a script before you were old enough to challenge it. And trust me, I've been there. I was an overachiever. I also got all the promotions. I climbed the ladder. And when I finally got to the top, at least I thought so, what did I find? Happiness and fulfillment? No. I found more ladders, more expectations, and less me. So I said, I don't want to win the rat race. I want to exit the maze completely. And by the way, worst advice ever, just stay in your lane. No, we're not going to stay in our lane. We're going to build our own roads instead. So, how do you figure out what you want? Here's the start. Analyze your next 10 days. See what's giving you energy and see what's draining you. And then rate those days every single day from 1 to 10. And spoiler alert, the things you think that must be amazing, for instance, spending time with your friends, are not always the ones that are actually amazing. So really be honest with yourself here. Maybe you expect something to be a 10 out of 10, but then it's just 3 out of 10. So really look at that and then do more of the things that are giving you energy and less of the things that are draining you. Another great way to find out what you want is test a lot, but also ask yourself, who am I secretly jealous of? And I know we all have that person in our minds which we secretly don't like or where there is some kind of jealousy. But I tell you, jealousy can tell you a lot about your own desire. So have a look at that. And when you've done all that, you just figure out what you want, or what you might want at least. Open that very first door. Not the perfect door, just the first one. And that's the part where most people stay in their head, they overthink, they say, maybe I'm not going to do it, maybe there's another way. Just open that door, trust me. Because when you open the first door, so many doors will follow. And I can tell you from personal experience, once I open that first door, you sneak into a building, you see more doors, and maybe you see the second and the third door, but you're certainly not already seeing the 10th or the 100th door. And I know so many amazing things can develop from there, so just do it. Another thing I want to encourage you to do is fail more often. I want you to increase your failure rate. And now you're probably thinking, increase your failure rate. Why is she talking about that? I want to fail less, not more. Well, let me tell you, the moment you increase your failure rate, you're going out of your comfort zone, you're starting to innovate, and that's the part where growth happens. If you're ever founding a company, that's the thing you should do. You should try out new things. And so what if you're failing? But I know it's not comfortable. I know it sucks. Because guess what? When you're doing something for the very first time, you're not going to be great at it. But trust me, do it anyways. And if I still haven't convinced you yet, here's a concept I call the friend flip. If your best friend came to you right now and would tell you exactly the dream we just defined in our heads and say, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I'm confident enough. Should I? What would you tell them? Would you believe in them? I mean, I do hope so, because we're all good friends, right? You would probably hype them up. You would tell them, you go for your dream, you deserve the world, you do it, and I trust you. So why not equally believe in ourselves? Because if we believe in ourselves, so many great things can happen. And talking about friends and family, they're incredible. They can support us in the best way. However, you have to get into new rooms to grow. So how do you find the right room for yourself? Well, the answer is easy, because the room is different for all of us. You like running, join a running club. You are into tech, well, visit a tech conference. You like personal branding, slide into my DMs. There are honestly so many ways. And once you get into that right room, two things happen. The first thing is you get more knowledge, right? I think that's kind of obvious. But the second thing is, not only do you get more knowledge, your mindset shifts. Because suddenly you get to sit together with the people who are 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead of you. And you can see, what are they doing that I'm doing not? So your mindset shifts. Suddenly, the thing that felt cringe before makes you feel confident. And when you're confident, you're also confident to be seen. And talking about being seen, here's another hard truth for me. And this one is important. Not always the smartest person in the room actually gets the opportunity. The most visible one does. Let me repeat that one because it's important. Not always the smartest person in the room gets the opportunity. The most visible one does. Did you ever have a situation where, you were very good at something, but you told nobody about it, and then somebody else showed up who did it half as good as you, and they just screamed it out, and they got the opportunity? It sucks, right? So that's what we want to avoid. Because no, you're not unqualified, you're just unseen. It's what I call qualified ghost syndrome, because you're genius, you're capable, and you're invisible. So let this become your new reality. Let your personal brand be a new CV. Let your content be a new cover letter. And let your visibility become your credibility. Because at the end of the day, if you're going out there, you need to be findable. We don't want to fake it. We just want to be found. Because if people can see you, they can give you opportunities. And all I want to say again is, you don't need to throw your whole life out. I didn't do that either. You can do everything I just told you while working your job, working your 9 to 5, while studying. You can figure it out, but it's important that you figure out what you want and that you open that very first door. Because yes, I can stand here, I can tell you all about it, I can teach you, but you gotta make that first step on your own. So, what are you waiting for?